Okay, I'm live. I'm going to wait for a few people to jump in here. I've got some breaking news, guys. So I just found out this information. Now, I haven't even pulled up this article. So I'm going to wait till a few more people jump in here and then I'll get started. Hey, guys. Hey, Kim Brown, Anon. Jonar Games, what's going on? I'm going to do some screen sharing. I have not looked this article up yet, but I saw this and I was like, I have got to go live with this information like ASAP. Excuse the train in the background, guys. Let me go ahead and just mute just for a second. Let this train pass. All right, I need to find this article. All right. What's going on, guys? Okay, I'm not sure who you are, but yeah. Bye-bye. All right. All right, I'm going to have to pull this article up in another window because it's not wanting to show up. Just a second, guys. It's been a while. So, like I said, guys, I've not actually read this article. So let me just get this pulled up for you and have it on screen so y'all can read along with me. All right. I can't see the chat at the moment, so just bear with me, you guys. So it looks like Nicole Kessinger is in the news, guys. Let me pull this up here. Sorry, technical difficulties, you guys. Right. Okay, can you all see my screen? News break. Nicole Kessinger, the most hated woman in America, is in police protective custody. It's not a title that anyone would seek out, but someone has to be, quote, the most hated woman in America. And as it turns out, this person is murderer Chris Watts' beloved mistress. Because the public detests her, police took her into protective custody and moved her to a new state and got her a new job in the wake of Watts' murders that shook the nation. Now, this was a rumor. I actually seen this a couple months ago that she was in, say, quote, witness protection, but this article just came out. It states that back in August, Chris Watts murdered his wife and two daughters. Of course, we all know that. Now he is in jail waiting for his day in court. Okay, so this article was actually dated April 15th. So I'm not exactly sure why it says now he is in jail waiting for his day in court. Okay, so just saying, not long after Chris Watts ended the lives of his innocent family members, Nicole Kessinger admitted that she was having a steamy affair with Watts. Because she came forward and offered testimony against the killer despite her role in influencing him to act against his family, police have granted her witness protection and are giving her a new name and moving her hundreds of miles away from home. So maybe this article just confirms this. Like I said, this is dated for the 15th of April, 2019. Kessinger started sleeping with Watts just a month before he murdered his family at their Greeley, Colorado home, which I thought it was Frederick, but and if you all are not aware of this, in the discovery documents, she actually Googled Shanann Watts back in 2017. So all of this is just really, really interesting. And the fact that they're coming out with this article as of, well, now yesterday, just kind of seems odd that they just keep bringing this back into the news, right? Because the public detested her as, quote, the other woman, she received numerous threats and abuse and said she would not be comfortable stepping out in public for, quote, years. That's when the police bent to her will and offered her access to the coveted witness protection program. So looks to be like this is true, and maybe that's why you cannot find her anywhere on the net. I'm just going to go ahead and continue to read this article. Like I said, I've not read this. I just went live with this. When Watts killed his family, Kessinger had worked with him at the oil company Anadarko. It is unclear if she was the motivation that turned Watts into a murderer, or if she just entered his life at the wrong time. A month after Kessinger and Watts became lovers, he strangled his wife, Shanann. He then buried her in a shallow grave in Colorado oil field. He then put his murdered daughters, Bella and Celeste, in oil tanks. Watts later made a suspicious appearance on television where he pretended to be unaware of their whereabouts. So that's just going back to the first interviews. In November, he pleaded guilty and was given 5 life sentences. Kessinger told police that she and Watts started talking in late May or early June. You know, you would think you would be able to exactly say, hey, when you started actually talking to a person that you were in an intimate relationship with. So which is it, Nicole? Late May or early June? You know the date. Okay, just saying. Then they began having sex a few weeks later. Watts then told Kessinger that their marriage was over because his wife refused to try to work things out with him. These quote facts were later proven absolutely false. It was Watts who was ruining the marriage. The article goes on to tell, while Watts was taking Kessinger to bed, he failed to mention that his wife was pregnant with a 3rd child. But during one of their final sessions together, he came clean about the pregnancy, but told his mistress that the father was another man. BS. After Watts killed his family, Kessinger sat down with police on August 16th and spoke to them for 2 hours. She came to investigators herself after ending the relationship with Chris because he told so many lies. That's more BS. We all know that. The first interview with Nicole, which I've actually got the audio of, she was outside with police, FBI. I'm not exactly sure who it was, if it was police or FBI, but you can obviously tell that they're outside. You can hear a dog in the background. And her story completely changes to the next interview, which was, I believe it was her and her, quote, dad. And then the third interview was her where she, turns over her mobile devices, which if you ask me, I'm not trying to, talk about the police and how they do things, but you would have thought that knowing what they knew, they would have received her devices the first time that they interviewed her. But who knows what they knew when they knew it, right? After Watts killed his family, Kessinger sat down with police, blah, blah, blah. She came into investigators herself, blah, blah, blah. Already read that part. Okay. Despite her best effort to help, Kessinger quickly became the most hated woman in America and now had to flee her home and start her life over again. What do you think about her decision to speak the truth about the family killer? It has a little video here. I'm not sure if, do y'all want me to play this? Go ahead and let me know in the chat. We may have already seen this. I don't know. It just says, it's Denver. Chris Watts' mistress breaks her silence. I'm sure we've probably already helped or already watched this. I just read the word help. Okay. Yeah. And she ain't in protective custody. I can guarantee you that much. She won't fool the bill to protect her like that. She is just a mistress. I don't know. I beg to differ. This article just came out yesterday. It's been rumored before that she was in protective custody. And the fact that you could not find her on any part of social media, any part of the web, honestly, I do think that she is in protective custody, and that's my personal opinion. So, I mean, I don't understand why this article would come out so late after this has already been out there. There was rumors that she was in protective custody before. And I mean, you know, we might have to look into this a little bit deeper. Just saying, I can only read what's given to me. I got a notice on, hey, Martha Jane. There you go, babe. But, you know, like I said, I can't necessarily state that, you know, I didn't know what the police knew. None of us know what the police knew when they knew it. So, as far as this whole investigation, what I do find odd is the fact that during the 5-hour Chris Watts confession, they did ask about Nicole Kessinger's whereabouts. I mean, we have Chris Watts. That case is closed. I don't think that's the last interview that they're going to do with him. That's my personal opinion. That's just what I'm thinking. And also the fact that they asked about his dad's whereabouts is really questionable. Now, you know, we know that that's a closed case on the Watts end. Who's to say that there's not an open investigation on other people? Just saying. Applesauce says, I think she could be in victim custody, which is different than protective custody. And you could be right on that. You could be right on that. Now, didn't they put Casey Anthony in some type of like witness protection after her? Yeah, they're making it out like she is a victim here. What I do find odd, I don't know if you all remember, it was the third interview where she handed over her phone. Okay. She made the statement that she was talking to her best friend, Charlotte. Her best friend, Charlotte, says to her, I'm not sure if it was a verbal conversation or if it was in text, but she said, wouldn't they be able to like do a mistrial because you were a witness? Don't quote me verbatim on that, but she said something to that effect. And I just really thought that was odd. How would, if she didn't tell her best friend Charlotte anything, her best friend Charlotte says that to her. I mean, mistrial, witness to what? I mean, those were her words. But yet she turned around and said that she hadn't told her best friend Charlotte anything. I don't know if you all caught that. And I wasn't going to do any more on this case, but the fact that this came out April 15th, I just got notice of this on my app. You know, I thought this was really interesting that this came out now. She was clearly removed from the property unwillingly. What do you mean, Mad Jeeper? Hey, figure skating coach. No, because she was not married to him, so they can't compel her to testify. She is a witness, not an eyewitness to the murder, but technically I understand she's considered a witness, but the fact that her best friend Charlotte said that there would be a mistrial, I mean, that's two totally different things. Two totally different things. I'm still listening, but I had to leave the call, so Joey. Okay. Thanks, Sandy. Appreciate it. Yeah, she's definitely a witness, but the fact that Charlotte said, couldn't there be a mistrial? That is completely different. And like I said, there was rumors that she was in protective custody before, but the fact that this comes out April 15th, let's just do a search, see if there's anything else on this. Let's see. Let's just say witness protection. Let's see what comes up. Back in December 20th, January 26th, March 20th. I'm just going to move the chat over a little bit. Same article I just read, just a different website. The 111-minute call on Nicole Kessinger's phone on the night of. Yeah, that's very telling in itself. Also, did you all catch this? When she was being interviewed, I believe it was the phone call to police. So there was technically 4 interviews, I think. She had stated that Chris Watts being on those patches caused him to be going without sleep a whole lot, right? And that she would literally have to tell him, I'm going to bed by 9 or 10. You're going to have to find something else to do. And it would bug her, right? However, she said on the 13th, the night of, or the morning, early morning hours on the 13th, that she stayed up she was up like at midnight doing laundry and was talking to Chris on and off the phone, but yet she had work the next day. But yet her typical time to go to bed was 9 or 10. She was staying up later. So either she lied when she first told investigators that she liked to go to bed at 9 or 10, or B, the fact that she was up late doing laundry. If you have to work the next day, what are you doing laundry at that time and talking to him off and on throughout the night? That in itself is nope, false, mad jeeper. Nope, false on what? Oh, definitely she's a liar in a lot of her interviews. I'm just saying she says one thing and then, depicts a next thing, totally opposite of what she said. I'm still trying to figure out why this case has me so pulled in. Yeah, exactly. Okay, if you don't like my channel and you're here for drama, you can go ahead and just leave. Okay, mods, just kick them out. If they're saying anything negative or derogatory, kick them out. I don't appreciate the hate. I don't appreciate the bashing. I'm here to put out the story. Because he had promised her he would tell Shanann the truth that night, and she was wanting updates on the situation. Yeah, I don't think it's over with either. And, in my opinion, I don't think that interview that they did with him, his 5-hour confession, was the only one. I think that there is going to be more. All right, so let's see. Sorry to get distracted by the chat here. Yeah, I first heard about the witness protection back around December. And they're stating here that was a new report. Okay, we have February 21st, 2019. Witness protection for Nicole. Thoughts? That's on Reddit. So you can't necessarily define Reddit as a reputable source, just saying. I mean, a lot of people do. That's more for people who put their thoughts and stuff, kind of like Discord. Support for Nicole Kessinger's Facebook group appears to be what? Did you all know that she actually had a support group on Facebook? I think there was a lot of lies that was stated in that 5-hour interview. That's just my opinion. I didn't feel like he was being genuine. Yeah, I didn't know that she had an actual support group on Facebook. Radar Online reported that. Let's pull this up. That's not the same one. Nicole Kessinger will reportedly be placed in. And yeah, I mean, like there was a lot when I came out with that, when I actually said she was in witness protection, there was quite a few articles that actually stated that. Secret girlfriend Nicole Kessinger put into witness protection after receiving threats. He also said that he didn't have an affair with any man. He also stated that Amanda McCann, is that her name? That he didn't do that as well. So, I mean, who knows what's real and what's not? I don't understand why he felt like he would have to lie after he already knows he's not going to get an appeal or a new trial or anything. I mean, why would he feel like he has to lie? Sarah McConnell, please don't time out Lucy's World. Lucy's World can't be timed out. She's a mod on the channel. She cannot be timed out. All right, let's look at this real quick. I don't want this to be a really long broadcast, so let's just put in the last 24 hours and see if we can find anything else on this. Ah, nice. Change.org. Looks like there's a petition 13 hours ago. Change.org. Let's just investigate. Okay. So change.org looks like there's 3,000 supporters. Investigate Nicole Kessinger. Reasons for signing. So there's a petition out there. See why other supporters are signing, why this petition is important to them, blah, blah, blah. Where is the petition? Let's go back. Okay, so 3,048 signatures. They're wanting to get to 5,000. So, why was Nicole Kessinger speaking with Chris Watts on the cell phone for 111 minutes the night of August 12th, just hours before Shanann returned from Arizona? And why did Nicole Kessinger make a 1-minute cell phone call to her friend Jim at 6:16 a.m. from Frederick, Colorado on the morning of the Watts family murders on August 13th, 2018? Nicole Kessinger's Verizon phone records released to the public will verify those calls Kessinger made. Frederick, Colorado detectives and Weld County prosecutors did not ask Nicole Kessinger those questions during the 2 recorded interviews with her. I believe there was 4, maybe 5 interviews done with Nicole. Nicole Kessinger needs to be investigated further to determine if she was involved with Chris Watts in the murder of his wife, Shanann, and unborn baby daughter, Cece and Bella. So I will leave links to this in the description box if you all want to sign that petition. I really don't think that there needs to be a petition to have her looked into and investigated. The FBI has a lot of reputable sources, and just the fact that they questioned her whereabouts when they were interviewing Watts during his 5-hour confession is very telling, you guys. You know, I don't see why there's an actual petition to have her investigated. Just saying. All right. 6 minutes ago, Chris Watts, True Crime Rocket. Now, this, if you all have not seen this website, this guy is awesome. I mean, he is on top of this case. He has been on top of this case. And Mad Jeeper, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. they can be an R joke. But, we also have to look at everything from all ends. It just seemed like they could have did stuff a whole lot differently. I'm not even looking at the chat, you guys. So Crime Rocket put out this article. Chris Watts, our expert psychologist qualified to prognosticate on criminal psychology. Interesting. As the two expert psychologists from Colorado are shown a clip of Chris Watts sobbing into his hands with his father's arm over his shoulder, and the two agents, both with their hands against their chins, looking on silently off his opposite shoulder. The assessment of the psychologist is triumphant. It's up. He smiles. He's caught. Now he's upset because he's caught. This is the first time you see emotion because now he's caught. You didn't see emotion when his family was killed. You see emotion now that he's caught, which is a very good observation. I never actually, the only time I seen tears is when they were, wasn't it when his mom was up at the stand after or before his sentencing or after his sentencing? I think it was before his sentencing when the victim's statements were being read. At the time, Watts was confessing to Shanann murdering the kids in the house and himself reacting to this in a mindless rage. Are the agents in the room also thinking, it's up, he's caught, now he's upset because he's caught? I never seen this one. This looked to be on Denver 7. Now, I did see a broadcast of two men sitting there watching him, but I've never seen this right here. Looks like Contact 7 Denver News. 1017. If the agents weren't thinking that, then why go back and interview him a second time for almost 5 hours? And the clip goes on to say why will likely never be answered. With that attitude, why even bring in psychologists? The "we'll never know why" cop is out in kindergarten true crime analysis. The assessment that a criminal is evil in schoolyard level criminal analysis. It's hardly a case of never. It's more a case of applying one's mind on a particular for weeks, months, or longer on end. And isn't that for sure, you guys? I mean, this happened last August and we're still talking about this. Put some effort in, study the case, think about the case. When one does, that's why it becomes clearer, if not entirely obvious. There's also a postscript calling Watts a, quote, master manipulator. Yes, I agree with that. Yes, the guy you saw swaying next to the television and not fooling anyone there apparently did fool someone. And then it just goes on to show clips. And this right here, I'm just going to zoom in on this. He's sitting there looking at Nikki, okay? And this is Nicole Atkinson. This is, if you all don't know, this is Shanann's best friend. She'd known her a little over a year, which she was on to him, okay? She's the one that made the police phone call and got the cops to show up. Look at him looking at her. Look at those eyes. He despises this woman. I never actually seen this picture. Never really caught on to the way he looked at her at that moment. That look is the look of he's pissed off. He's like, you better shut up. I think, and when she was talking, I think is when, now correct me if I'm wrong, when he was looking at her like this, she was talking about the medicine, about her not having the EpiPen, about her medicine and her wallet and stuff still being in her purse. And maybe this is when the cop was talking to her mother on the phone. I'm not sure exactly when this picture was taken. but I think she's standing right in front of Shanann's purse. And if you look right here, he's looking down. He's looking down. They're talking to Chris at this moment right here. She's got her arms crossed. She's definitely upset. He's got his arms crossed because he's talking the whole time and he's being deceptive. I'll just go on to read this if you all don't mind. Chris Watts claims rage was the operative emotion that made him wipe out his family. But this is what a genuine rage and I can't even say this word. Never been able to say this word. Rage. And I'm sure there's going to be a video made that I can't speak. The word rage appears only twice in the 29-page CBI report documenting Chris Watts' second confession. The first instance is at the top of page 8. Let's see, it was like, picture someone around you holding your hands, keeping you from letting go. He felt like he was in a rage and snapped. Second instance is he had rage and lost his mind. And then in the 5-hour confession, he stated that he didn't know where he was. He felt like he was out of sight, out of mind, or out of body or whatever. And then that goes to, well, maybe he was MK Ultra'd. And there's speculation put out there. I also heard that before he had actually put the kids in the tanks, that Nicole Kessinger sent him the lyrics to the song Battery. And then you have the actual tanks that were called batteries. And maybe that was like a trigger word. Now, I can't confirm when that text was sent to him with those lyrics. So that's just speculation on my part. I've not looked into it. Yeah, honestly, if you want my honest opinion, okay, this is my opinion. The fact that he made plans on that Saturday at the party, he had already made plans to cover the site, the Survey 319. He'd already made plans to have that site covered for him to be there alone. That in itself is premeditation. And then the fact during that 5-hour confession, you have the fact that he said he didn't know that he was going to do it, but he decided to do it. Again, you have premeditation. So, I mean, I don't think he had rage. I don't think he lost it. I don't think he snapped. Honestly, in my opinion, I think all of this was premeditated. It looks like this is Discovery page 607. The rage that I felt for what she was, what she did, it just took over. Ronnie clarified with Chris, if he choked Shanann and Chris said, that's just, it's rage. Shanann just, quote, lost it. Shanann went off, blah, blah, blah. Shanann did not do anything to those kids. And I will tell you right now from the start, I never thought she had anything to do with those kids being hurt. I never said anything about that. And for anyone to not be able to see that interview with him, and if they couldn't detect that he was actually lying from the get-go, then something's wrong. He was clearly being deceptive and lying through the very first interview, you could tell. Completely deceptive. He had his arms crossed the whole time. He kept licking his lips. He wouldn't do a lot of eye contact. He kept talking in, especially Bella, in past tense. And from what I gathered, the kids were actually supposed to start school that day, not the next Monday. Ash, I think you could be correct on part of that. Ash 274 states, I don't think he snapped. He planned to because he was panicking that his time with NK was coming to a grinding halt and fast. NK was talking about pulling away and hurriedly decided to do it. You know what, though? okay, she states that to police in that third interview, she gave him an ultimatum. However, she was looking up wedding dresses the night before. For 2 hours. No, she didn't give him an ultimatum. And the very first interview she did with cops where they were outside, she mentioned nothing about telling him to work things out with the wife when he went to North Carolina. But yet her story changes during that second interview. So, I mean, think what you want. I have my opinions. I have my thoughts. You could be correct on a little bit of that. Like I said, I mean, that's your opinion. We have our opinions. Who knows what happened? I don't think we'll ever know the true full story of this. Then it goes on to say Chris said he went into a blind rage and did the same thing to Shanann. And yeah. Ronnie said he could understand how rage could come out by seeing your kids dead. And if, the video's on private, but when I was showing the CCTV footage, I initially stated that I remembered seeing shadows next to the truck, and I also saw activity in the truck. It looked like there was someone in the truck, and my first opinion was that he took the kids to the site. So before any other bigger YouTuber came out and said that, I actually said it first. But not to toot my own horn or anything on that, but we all have our opinions. We all state what we think, which is perfectly fine. Who knows what was going through this man's head? Who knows what was going through Scott Peterson's head? It's kind of interesting that these two cases collided, per se. Heck yeah, killing children is mad sick. I don't know how many articles I've read just in the past 2 days of children being slaughtered, killed, heads slammed into concrete, thrown off a 3-story mall balcony. I mean, come on. I just found an article. Let me read this to you guys. It might take me just a second to find it. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Kentucky woman accused of slamming 2-year-old son on concrete. This happened in Bowling Green, Kentucky. A Kentucky woman was arrested after police say she slammed her 2-year-old son on concrete. I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the whole article. Bowling Green police tell WBKO, which is a news station, a woman witnessed a fight between Noel Gray and another man. Gray was holding her son during the fight before slamming him on the concrete and running away. The boy suffered injuries and was transported to Vanderbilt University Children's Hospital in Nashville for treatment. Gray is charged with wanton endangerment, assault, and endangering the welfare of a minor. And that's all the article says. But my goodness, nothing surprises you anymore. When you read these articles, you're like, oh my gosh, can it get any more worse? Heck, a woman was arrested for teaching while drunk at a middle school. Really? I'm just going through. I'm scrolling, guys. I'm not screen sharing this. I'm pulling this up on my phone in case you all are wondering. If you all don't have this app, it's called Newsbreak. I suggest you get it. This has headlines. It has following. videos, politics, U.S. entertainment world. It has all types of articles. And depending on what you watch, it kind of depicts on what shows up. It's a very good article. Now, be careful because some of these are considered spam. They're considered satire. So just make sure that you look at the article that it's coming from, okay? But most of them are pretty accurate. They get their news information from reputable web sources or sites. So I'm just going to go through this and just kind of skim over what I was sharing with you guys. This isn't really anything that we haven't heard or seen before. This may have made him seem suave and mild-mannered to Kessinger, but pathetic and meek at times to Shanann, who was more extroverted than he was. So, yeah, I'm just kind of done with this. Just, I haven't seen this video. Hero Nicole Atkinson reflects her memories. That ought to be interesting. So I'll go ahead and share all the URLs in the description box if you all want to just, continue reading this. Let me go ahead and give this room a shout out, and then I'm going to call it a night. Like I said, I just wanted to go over that. I thought it was really odd that this article came out on the 15th. I hadn't heard about this since December, so I didn't, I thought this was going to be breaking new information. Hey, that I guess that's what I get for going ahead and going live when we already heard this back in December. But hey, you can't blame me, right? All right, let's see who's in this chat room. Hey, River Fox. Hey, Ben. All right, so we have Ash 274, Ben Ashworth, Shamrock, Mad Max 408, Love Lights, Joan R. Games. I seen Sandy Diva in here earlier. Figure skating coach. Hey, Tamara, you rock. Lility 58, X-Con, what's going on? Jesse James, Lucy's World, Applesauce, Becky P, Aussie Flag, Mad Jeeper, Sarah McConnell. And if I miss you, I'm sorry. I can only scroll up so much on this chat. Autumn Kite, good to see you. Blue Topaz. River Fox. Rosamia 101, thanks for joining, you guys. Hey, Splatter. Hey, Dean. Hey, Sue. Shamrock. What's going on? Okay, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast. Much love to you guys, and thanks for coming. And if I see anything else breaking, hopefully it won't be on the Chris Watts case. I'm trying to get back in the groove of doing my usual YouTubing. So I appreciate everybody for coming out. You all have a great night. Much love.